Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes podcast. I'm Bert Lepore. He's Samuel Monte Carlo. We're hanging here with Angry Mike D, and we talk about music, movies, and so much more.
All right, we're back with another episode of Mixtapes and Tasty Cakes, episode 83.
83.
83, episode 83.
We have a fan favorite coming back here, Greg Gorey. We got coming back.
What's up, Greg? Oh, I'm a fan favorite.
Yeah, why not? I think so.
For his,
we get letters all the time.
Expertise.
Bring Greg back.
A lot of letters for Greg.
A lot of fan mail. I mean, you got to see the bags of fan mail that they bring us.
Yeah.
Bring back Greg.
We have thumb drives full of them.
Bring back Greg.
It's been a while.
So we brought back Greg due to popular demand, and we're just talking album covers, album covers that we like that caught our attention and that are to us individually iconic. So
yep,
that's where we're at.
And there could be a billion of these. We could do 20 shows or more on this. So it's just what we were digging at the time, or what we like. So by no means
best, not the worst, but
not the best, not the worst. Cause some of these bands we could put up multiple. All right, so we're going to start off. Greg, what you got?
Well, let me just say that I think the last time I was on, we talked about Kiss album covers. So I just completely eliminated them. So I'm just going to say, I love Kiss album covers.
You're really going to start it off with that?
We got Kiss out of the way early.
Got out of the way.
Because I was going to come in and start out with Kiss just to be a jerk off.
You got beat to
it. But I will start off with something easy. I couldn't pick just one, so I picked just three of them just off the bat. Bark at the Moon, Diary of a Madman, Ultimate Sin from Ozzy Osbourne. Those album covers are some of the coolest, I think.
Yeah. I had Diary. on my list. Weird thing with Diary, which I didn't know until today by doing just a little bit of research, was that the little kid in the background on the cover is his first son, Lewis, which I didn't know that. I was like,
really?
Yeah.
You never hear about his other kids.
No, yeah. I know his daughter Amy is like a musician herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of Sharon's, and she's probably the best looking one.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And probably the most normal one. But I'm talking about his kids from like his other marriage. Like
I think he's got two. I think he's got a son and a daughter, maybe. I know he's definitely got a son.
That must be pretty shitty being them.
Yeah, right. Like you don't hear about them at all.
Yeah, maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
They probably prefer it that way.
No. So the Bark at the Moon record, Greg, that was pretty iconic when it came out because all that makeup and do you remember when they were doing the behind the scenes? I remember one time there was like some behind the scenes thing they were showing Ozzy getting made up and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's actually the album cover of Bark at the Moon is what made me want to listen to Ozzy. Like I never heard of him before. I was still a kid. Like I was literally digging through. I was looking for Kiss records in my dad's basement, and I find Bark at the Moon, and it scared the crap out of me. I'm like, what does this sound like?
Yeah, exactly. That's the move.
Did you think they did the video and the photo shoot 2 different sessions, or you think that was
I think one session?
For Ozzy's sake,
that's what I would think.
Yeah.
That okay, we're going to do a photo and a video shoot. I can't see them doing.
That's a lot of time.
That's pretty.
Yeah, but they could have just drugged them up. They could have done anything to them.
The makeup takes 4 hours, so between 4 and 8, we have a limit of 2 hours before Ozzy starts getting drunk.
Give Ozzy a quaalude, and then we'll make him up in his sleep over there.
Yeah.
I think that's actually one of my favorite werewolf designs, like probably top 5. I love that.
It is
cool.
Look.
Yeah. It's got the long hair werewolf kind of.
Yeah, the long hair on his arms and shit like that. It was.
Yeah. Now, Greg, I know you follow the werewolf thing, right? You're big on that, right? So what kind of wolf would that be?
A
I
werewolf.
guess so. It's yes. No,
But there's
I guess
breakdowns
you
of
could call
it,
it like a lycanthrope. I
Okay.
guess you could call it.
Okay.
I'm no expert, but that would be my guess.
Yeah. He said the werewolf. Well, we knew it was a werewolf. But I knew there was like a little bit of a breakdown to it. Then you talked about Diary of a Madman. I love same thing that Greg said with Bark at the Moon. Diary of a Madman. It just looks scary, and then when you put it on, it sounds scary, and it's just that's what brought most of the records like that.
Great album covers, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, even like it's not on the list, but even like No Rest for the Wicked, I love that album cover.
Yeah, that is
cool.
cool.
Yeah.
It's super cool.
Yeah.
All right, Damo, what you got?
All right. For my first pick, we'll stick with the theme. I actually had Speak of the Devil.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Ozzy's
Scary
live
cover.
album. That I remember going to Cherry Hill Malls. That's where with my mom and dad. One of the few memories I have with both of them together. I was really young. I must have been maybe 5 or 6, but I remember seeing that. And I mean, I couldn't read at that time, but just the visual just like stuck with me. And then when I got older, when I got into it, I instantly remembered it. And it's probably one of my favorite live records. And I'm not really big into live albums, but that's a great live album. But that cover is just so fucking.
I can't believe I forgot about that.
Yeah. And it had a gatefold.
Yeah.
It opened up, and Ozzy was with the big cross with the little midget guy in there, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude,
I remember
that's a great record, man. And a great album.
I don't think
cover.
they like to be called midgets, though. They're little people.
Yeah.
Little
I'm
people.
I'm a big fan of little people in metal.
Yeah.
Big fan.
It's good stuff. Yeah, it's good
They
stuff.
add a lot of flavor to entertainment. They really do.
Absolutely. Me and Mike will go through like YouTube once in a while. You know, we watch wrestling a lot, shit. So we were going through, and we went on a fucking little rabbit hole of the micro wrestling. Oh, fucking hilarious. Fucking great.
Oh, that's pretty funny shit, man. That's good. They were good though.
Yeah, I saw it actually is called midget wrestling. It was on the marquee at TLA one time, and that was fun. That was just fun.
Great.
Like, they had a midget wrestling event at the TLA like years ago. It was great.
I don't know. I don't think this ever happened, but imagine somebody. I mean, obviously it can't happen now because he's dead, but maybe like an Andre the Giant, like that big, in a handicap match against like 10 midgets.
10 of them, yeah.
Andre would still win.
You know?
I wouldn't be surprised if that actually happened before. I wouldn't be surprised.
You know what? Somebody should do it now and get like, I don't know. Who's the big guy now?
Omos. He's big.
Okay.
Like,
It's not fair for the midgets. Come on, man. It's not fair.
Well,
I
they
don't
could
know.
bite the leg, the ass. They could do it.
Yeah, dude, that would be
I don't
so
care, man.
fucking entertaining.
It's like FIFA, boom. I mean,
I'm
that's
surprised.
I just picture like these little guys just fly out of the freaking ring just by being kicked.
Dude, the best part is you know the referee's going to get it. You know,
it could be.
Is the referee a little person?
no, they usually aren't. Usually, the referee's ass gets bit or something like that. It's just
Have
It
them
could be-
normal size. Have
Here
them
we go.
normal 6 foot.
This is how you would do it. It will be like a battle royal, but it will be the midgets can't wrestle each other. It'll be
everybody against Andre.
Yeah, everybody against the big.
So it'll be like, who was the guy back in the day they lifted up? That remember the old fucking picture of the something traveler? The guy looks like he's down. He's like fucking
Gulliver's Travel.
Gulliver's Travel. Be like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Makes me want to watch Time Bandits.
All right. Yeah. Right. All right.
It's a great
Anyway,
movie. I love that movie.
So moving on, Mike D, what do you got for album cover?
Well, this is a tough one because, I mean, do I go with like the whole collection or one? It's kind of tough for me to choose one.
let's go on.
Just go with one. I'm going to go with Mars Volta, Francis the Mute, and it's a concept album, and I don't really. I didn't even take the time to read into it. I don't even like doing that stuff. But it's about someone who doesn't know who their parents are, and they're trying to find them, basically. And I take it like the album cover, like everybody's like on the cover is like wrapped in this like red cloak around their
Yeah,
face.
looking at it. Yeah,
It's a weird album cover, yeah.
In like
Yeah.
in like a 1950s.
Like almost like
car.
you're looking at everybody, not knowing if that's your parents or whatever. That's the way I take it, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, they always have interesting album covers.
But that's what I said. I was like, they have 6 albums. 5 of their album covers are just awesome.
Yeah.
That is a pretty interesting, almost an eerie looking album cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like most of their album covers I gotta look at twice because I don't get it. I'm like, what the hell is
Right.
that?
Yeah. They make you want to sit there and actually look at them like, whoa, what's going on here? It's like
almost like their music,
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Like they're definitely a
Yeah,
unique
exactly.
band.
they are.
I
yeah.
love them, man.
I
They're one of
like
my favorite bands.
Yeah, a buddy of mine at work years ago used to play them, and it was I was digging it when he would play them. And what was the other band that they came from?
At the drive-in.
Yeah, they're good too.
At the drive-through, was it, or at the drive-in?
At the drive-in.
At the drive-in.
Okay.
Yeah. They were.
I was
they
never
good
big
too.
into them. I heard a few of their songs. Really not my.
I don't think it wasn't
I
as
hate throwing
proggy.
around the term, but yeah, it was
Yeah.
a little emo-ish for
Yeah.
me. But they were still good, but just not my
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to move on to my pick. You can pick any one of their records pretty much. I'm going to go with Iron Maiden, Somewhere in Time, just because there's so many Easter eggs and cool things in there, man.
I'm glad you went with that one.
It's a great one. Yeah, I mean, they all their album covers are awesome. But if I had to pick one, Somewhere in Time, there's so many Easter eggs in there. Every time you look at it, you can find something different. And, just, even like I didn't find out till today, which I, had the record for 30, 40 years or whatever the deal is. And if you look at the top of the back of the cover, it's got not that I'm a big Doctor Who fan, but it's got whatever that fucking blue, the blue box. I forget what it's called. But, like the thing he gets in the time thing. What's that called? Trans something or whatever the fuck?
Yeah,
teleporter or something like that, right?
Yeah.
The teleporter. Yeah. What do you mean, like the time travel machine?
Whatever the fuck he gets in there. I don't know. I don't want Doctor Who.
I mean, Doctor Who would be the TARDIS.
The TARDIS.
TARDIS,
There
that's
you
it.
go.
Or
he was a
phone
TARDIS.
Yes. Okay.
We call them phone booths.
We
in
got
real
to the
life.
TARDIS somehow. I don't know how, but we got there.
Well, I don't know. We went from 3 different things when we got to the TARDIS. Yeah. So that's even back there. So like, Bruce Dickinson is a fan. So I'm looking at the back of the cover, dude. There's so much shit. So much like song titles and the bar named Aces High and you can see the pyramids in the back. That's an album cover that if anybody hasn't really look at it. There's so much cool shit.
A lot of details.
Yeah, Iron Maiden's one of mine as well. I put Power Slave.
That's my second favorite.
I love that.
Yeah.
I just love the colors, the Egyptian.
Greg
thing.
again, buddy.
You got Mike again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dude, the color scheme. I love the color scheme. It just stands out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great. And if you look through all the Iron Maiden stuff, and I don't know how true it was, but it was like if you go from each one of their records, it's supposed to be like where Eddie's lands next. So after you got to, as what was it, Peace of Mind, where he gets the lobotomy and he's, they said he pretty much breaks through and then he shows up on that Live After Death. I think that was the next one. No, not Live After Death. It was Power Slave. He shows up in Egypt.
Yeah.
Right. Shows up in Egypt. And then you have Somewhere in Time, which I guess is the next studio record. Now he's like space, it's fucking just cool, man.
Do you think that maybe like all these album covers start at, kind of with Killers, I guess, and he's now in a mental asylum,
right?
And all of a sudden he's imagining all these things. Maybe that's a subtle mythology.
That's a good point.
I'm really surprised they haven't turned into like some like some cartoon thing yet series.
Or
they should.
The Adventures of Eddie.
Yeah. Well, they do have the
They
video
should.
game. They have that Legacy of the Beast game, but it would be nice to see like a visual because there's so much you could do there.
They could really cash in.
Yeah,
absolutely. He's the most famous music mascot.
That's Money in the Bank,
especially with like all that Adult Swim stuff. That was I don't know how popular it is anymore, but you could have definitely done something on there.
Yeah, like a little
twisted show or something.
Yeah,
a
little 15-minute show or something. Yeah,
have Netflix pick up a 10 episode miniseries. Like,
yeah. At this point, okay, so Greg went with Maiden also. What do you got, Damo?
Okay, we're gonna stick with the theme, and I had Iron Maiden on mine. This is probably one of the worst records, but I think, in my opinion, it's my favorite album cover, and that's the X Factor.
Okay, I actually like that record.
For the first time, it's like Eddie looks real. I mean,
yeah,
and that was done. That came out in like '95, and even by today's standards, still looks really good.
It is a cool album cover.
Yeah, it's just like
it's called digitized or something. Is that what they call it?
Yeah, it's totally like
It almost looks like clay, like claymation. Almost.
Yeah, like it almost looks like like he made like somebody actually made it out of wax or something. But he's kind of like sitting in a chair, I think, with like his arms and legs kind of like
a torture device or some kind of electric chair or something like that.
Yeah, but it's I mean it's
that was with their
really
replacement.
Cool.
That was without Bruce, right?
Blaze Bailey,
yeah.
Which you know
what?
The
album cover is definitely
it's good.
One of their best, I think.
I actually like that record. I wish the vocals had a little more maybe reverb on them or something. I think that's the only thing that hurt it for me. But the record,
which album was that? You're saying
the X Factor. The first one, Blaze Bailey.
Oh, okay.
But there were great songs.
I couldn't get into Blaze Bailey stuff.
Yeah, it's
Sign of the Cross is an awesome song.
You know, that's when I
you Blaze bailed on
Blaze Bail. I got into Maiden a little bit later than everybody else, like in the early 90s, and so I was like full into Maiden when that album came out, and obviously Bruce wasn't on it, but the so I guess I kind of like forced myself to like it. And I do like the record. I mean, it's and I'm not really into long songs, but some of these I really like. But we're talking about the album cover here.
You know what's funny, man? Like I remember going to the library and actually finding Somewhere in Time on vinyl, and I took that home. That was the first Maiden album I listened to. But it was like in the library, you know, that you were finding like heavy metal in the library. I'd never heard of Maiden before. I just saw their artwork and stuff.
Yeah, it's a cool library.
I'm like, this is what they sound like. I expected something like super heavy, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So
based
Mike,
on their album covers, you think?
Yeah.
Right.
So Mike, we're gonna stick with you. What do you got next?
Man, this is probably like one of my favorite albums right now. It's constantly in my rotation, and it probably came out within the last few years. It's the Claypool and Delirium, South of Reality.
That's a pretty album cover, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like beautiful artwork. It's just kind of like twisted looking. You know, you're in for a strange ride on this album just by looking at the cover.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got this like little flea looking at some kind of map on this like foreign planet with other planets in the background.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. Kind of like sci-fi looking, but it's very colorful and it definitely stands out.
It's and the record inside
the album does not disappoint.
And what's the name, Mike? Right there, the inside.
Well, the flea's the character.
Yeah, the flea's the character. It's like a story. But if you look at the record, the vinyl, he's awesome, man. If you look at the sticker that's on the inside, when it plays, it looks like it's almost fucking going deeper. You know, like 3D-ish. It's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's neat, man.
I don't know if I have the same one as you do, though.
I don't know. I'm sure they made a couple different variations.
Yeah, I think they made a couple different variations of it.
But it's a great record. The album covers it stands out for the color scheme. Same thing. It's got like purple, blue, kind of right, something like that. It's something like that.
It's got it's got a lot of like reds, purples in the background, the blues, like the water, the ice, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's cool artwork. Okay, so we brought them up. I got, of course, pick a Kiss record. So I'm gonna go with the Kiss record that stands out for me, man. I think everybody loves this album cover that likes Kiss.
Here we go back there, going back to Kiss.
Creatures of the Night.
I thought he got it out of the way.
Yeah,
Creatures of the Night. Okay,
I have a nice and big here for a reason.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. I mean, come on, man. When you seen that album cover, was it like, wow, I gotta have this?
Yeah. I really like that album cover too. I kind of like the just the kind of like the aesthetic of it, like the mood, it's kind of dark.
I like the back cover too, like the lightning and the clouds.
Yes. The color scheme, another thing, the color scheme's great. Purple, black, blue.
Yeah, like a lot of the albums I always seem to draw my eye to have a lot of blues and purples and stuff like that.
And against the black, it pops. It really pops. It really pops. Okay, what do you got, Greg?
Speaking of like the hues of blue and everything, Ride the Lightning by Metallica.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's just for the color scheme alone, the lightning and everything like that. Like it's pretty, when you actually look at it like conceptually, it's very simple. It's just an electric chair with clouds behind it. That's all it is. And some lightning, but it works. It's very good.
Yeah, the color scheme.
It's also my favorite.
Yeah, the color scheme. A lot of the color scheme. The color scheme stands out. That's big for me. Damo, what you got?
I have Cinderella Night songs.
I love that.
And
Yes.
I like the again, like I like the color scheme in there, the purple and the fog and everything, and it kind of looks like old time like London or something, but it's actually in Philly, Center City, right off of
Like Old City.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's between South and Lombard, right on the on Second Head House Square. But it's I thought
Great
they
album
looked
cover.
cool. It definitely, like, when you look at it, it definitely kind of puts you in that timepiece, just like from everything that they're wearing and everything. But
I love their look on that album.
yeah, to me,
It's awesome.
but like, yeah, I mean, they're wearing like very, very like 80s clothing, but
They're glam, but yeah, I mean,
but they
I also love
didn't-
glam look.
yeah, they didn't look like pretty,
Poison.
kind of like badass,
Yeah.
they kind of look like,
it's like, we wearing glitter, but we'll still
Yeah.
kick your ass.
Yeah.
but that one that always stuck with me.
That stands out. Certain album covers you see, especially if it's a picture. Sometimes you just see it and go, "Wow, it just looks the shot's great." And it goes back again. The purple is in there. They got the black background, the dark background. I think the streets they even make it look wet. I think if you look at the bottom, I think it's kind of like a wet looking street. I mean, whoever took that picture did a great job, man.
Mark Weiss.
Is that Mark Weiss is unbelievable?
Of course, with Mark Weiss.
Yeah, that guy did everybody's stuff in the 80s, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He did like most of the East Coast bands, and Niels Lozauer did like the West Coast. It was sort of like,
Yep,
that's
the
how
other
he
side of it. What you got, Mike?
This is another tough one, and you could probably go by just any one of their album covers, and they're all just pretty awesome. And I'm gonna probably go with Angst, since it's my first one by them, the KMFDM, the album's Angst.
Yeah,
I love KMFDM.
Yes,
Love that.
they just have some awesome album covers, man. All I know is it's by an artist named Brute, and he just does just about every one except for maybe one or two.
Oh, okay, yeah, because they all have the same
all
kind of look.
It's almost
Like
comic
that
book-y,
shading
right?
type of
Yeah.
art.
Like a what did you say, Greg?
Shell shading, I think it's called, like something like that.
Like that
I'm no
noir
artist, but
kind
I
of.
heard
Yeah.
that. I heard that term used a lot, like almost like that, like the one video game, Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Okay,
mm,
that's a fun game.
Sin
Yeah.
City, like the movie Sin City.
Sin
Yeah.
City,
Yeah,
yes,
it's
that's what I think of.
Yeah.
It's even more accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. That's
Yeah,
a good
all
one.
their album covers look like they tie in. It's got a very
They have inside stuff too, and it's like each single has its own like special little artwork.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm
really
looking at
cool
it.
stuff.
I agree.
It's uniformed enough where you know who it is if you see the album cover.
Right.
Which I like. You know who it is. All right, so we went with Mike, so we're gonna go with me. I want to go with there's not much to this album cover, but man, I love it. Mental Health from Quiet Riot. I love it.
That was one of my picks.
It is a
too.
good one for some reason.
So good.
Yep. And
It's the mask.
I love it, man. I was reading a little bit about today. The guy named Stan Watts was the illustrator, photographer, and his brother did some album stuff too. But he also did Black Sabbath's Live Evil album cover. It's simple, but he's got the dude in the iron mask. It's got the jacket, which is, they said it's Frankie Banali's leather jacket, but just reversed. They said pretty much. And the guy in the picture is that guy Stan. Yeah, so it's like, and he said there was no really big effects back then. He said it's not a padded cell behind him. It's actually just like, a fucking cover, like a sleeping cover or whatever. But and he said that we just made it kind of look that way. But I always love that album. Comfort, yeah. I love it, man. I love that record. And the album cover. Okay, Greg, what you got next?
I'm gonna divert a little from the rock music a little bit just to keep some variety, but like you're gonna see a theme with the picks of mine. A lot of them are kind of just stuff that kind of creeps me out because I guess it's just because I love horror and whatnot. But it always, every time I see it, it's nerve wracking for some reason. And it's a Maggot Brain by Funkadelic.
Love that record. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, dude, that album cover, it's so unsettling to me. It's just she's like buried and screaming, and when you turn the cover, it's a skull.
Yeah,
like, dude, that's just creepy. And
that's a great album, by the way.
Great album.
That is one great album.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They got, guess what? A lot of their artwork is unbelievable. I think, Mike, did you know the one guy does most of their
I think one guy, I forget his name,
It's
but I
very
remember we were
neat.
watching that documentary and they were showing, he did the one and then they said, you're just going to do them all from now on.
Yeah, very urban street kind of,
Yeah.
you know,
Like little comic book kind of like stuff. Like,
yeah. Take it to the stage, or let's take it to the stage. The Exorcist looking one, right? That's another good
that was
one.
going to be my next pick, actually.
There you go. Yeah, Mike, you can talk about that. We'll go to Dave after.
Greg keeps kind of like
Greg's on you. You and Greg are the
almost.
same thing.
We're on the same wavelength here.
That's great. Yeah, Mike, go with that. Take it to the stage. We'll go to Dave next.
Yeah, that's just an awesome album cover. I mean, it has like, it looks like it must have came out around the time when The Exorcist was pretty big.
Right.
So you have like that Linda Blair drawn character on there with this kind of masked like demon logo over the top of it. Let's take it to the stage written on her stomach.
Mm-hmm. It definitely does look like a Linda Blair.
And you look at that actually, you would think this is some kind of like old, like, heavy metal kind of album, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's
so
like
good.
Pure funk goodness.
It's probably their best album for me. I love that record.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. And it's between them and, I mean, it's tough. They got a lot of really good stuff, but for me, it's that album right there.
Yeah. And I've been getting into them, like really heavy into them the last maybe 6 months. And the Linda Blair looking cover, I'm an Exorcist nut, and I never seen that album cover before. I don't remember it. So when I seen it, I'm like, wait a minute, I got to get this regardless, And it was a pain in the ass to get. It was a little bit of a pain in the ass to get.
Oh, you ain't kidding. We both had a problem with that one.
Yeah, we both ordered I ordered it right after Mike, and what happened? Mike, you ordered it on Amazon, right?
I think the guy was scamming Amazon, not me, because I got my money back for no problem.
Yeah, so did I, but I didn't get.
But there was definitely some weird scam going on there.
Yeah.
Like it was like, ships in 3 weeks, and in 3 weeks it's like lost in the mail. It's like,
I did the same thing because it was like, I guess, a private seller on Amazon. We of course, Mike didn't get it, and I was like, well, I'm going to try. Same guy, same stupid result. And he wound up going to Discogs and getting it, and then I went to Discogs and got a fairly decent price. Probably was shipping like 30-ish, around there, a little under maybe. But yeah. Great.
Well, I bought a couple things. I bought the Metallica and Justice for All too. So
yep. Dame,
got a decent price.
Got the Beatles, Sgt. Pepper.
Motherfucker.
You have that? That's a great album cover, man. There's so much going on. Talk about detail. I mean, there's so much going on, and as far as it being one of the greatest albums of all time in general. I mean, just the album cover is just kind of cool, and it is kind of creepy in a way. Kind of reminds me of like the beginning of Cheers. Remember where they show all the the old photos? That always creeped me out, man.
It does have that style, like the old timey style.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah.
The old boxing guy, it looks like that. You're like, what are you doing?
Who does a lot of conspiracy?
Yeah. I would say, would it be vaudeville style, or I don't know.
That's like I guess so. Yeah, it's like early 1900s kind of.
Yeah. Where they have the strong man holding the one thing up with the fucking mustache. Yeah. You know who does a lot of that artwork now? Volbeat kind of plays around with that every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But that's another real good band. And their album covers
I love them.
Yeah.
It's so I'm gonna go move on to my next pick is Danzig 3, How the Gods Kill. Geiger. Unbelievable. I mean, that guy's just anything he does, I guess, he
did a lot of artwork for album covers.
Oh yeah.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer, he did.
And that album cover, we talked about that before. That album cover, you look at it and you're like, man, I want to listen to this, and it might not be what you think it is.
Right.
Yeah.
But
it's like very like industrial.
Yeah, very
looking, alien. Alien. I mean, you definitely know it's.
He had something to do with the alien. I think he did something special.
He designed it. Yeah, pretty much. He did the whole, all the movies, like the whole aesthetic of.
But I love that. That artwork is just so cool, man.
Yeah,
it's so cool. I couldn't tell you what half the stuff even is. It just looks cool,
We at work we teamed up with him, or he might have been dead by then. We teamed up with his company, and we made a very limited edition Ibanez guitars.
Mm-hmm.
With I think we did like 2 guitars and a bass, and pretty cool looking. Imagine like a guitar.
Gotta look for pictures for this. You have any?
Yeah, you got any? Is your pictures available with you?
You could find them. Just
I'll
type
look
up
for
like Ibanez, like Geiger guitar. But it's very Geiger looking artwork. There was an Iceman, you know, the model that Paul Stanley plays.
Mm-hmm.
One of those, and I mean, you could probably picture like the alien playing the thing. I mean, it's at NAMM we actually had like one of the like giant alien kind of thing, mold holding the guitar.
I can't tell if this is the one you're talking about or not, but there's a few of them on.
I seen a couple cool ones. Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah.
It's
There's
crazy
one in
looking.
this sort of like blue ice case or something. It looks like.
Oh, dude, it's crazy looking. Oh, machine looking, and
yeah,
it's pretty badass.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty badass, man.
Yeah, you can see the display. There's a picture of the display somewhere where it looks like the actual alien is holding the guitar.
Oh, really? I guess if I
And
can
it looks
find
like
that, put it up.
Right. You also had the Steve Stevens Atomic Playboy. You had that.
That's another,
cover.
Geiger. That's a Geiger cover.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Like it's the big face, right? It's the big face, his face kind of deal.
Yeah, and then there's a guitar going down.
Mm-hmm.
You see like the neck.
Yeah, dude, he's done a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Greg. What you got?
W.a.s.P. Their first album.
Oh, I love that fucking
Such
album.
a badass. The whole thing, everything about that album is badass. But like the album cover is perfect. Like it's
the flames.
It's just so theatrical. It's wild. Like
it makes you want to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that album cover. Dame, you're a W.a.s.P. fan, right?
Yeah.
Are you a fan of that
first,
cover?
First two albums. Yeah, that's the one with the cod piece on the cover, right?
No, well, that's the EP. The one after that it's the one with the background. It looks like they're almost in a cave, kind of, or whatever they're in.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You got that one.
The big steel logo behind them.
Yeah.
Right.
I think they might have the torches. I'm not even sure if I don't remember offhand.
Yeah, the torture rack.
Yeah. And I mean, even them, Headless Children, great painting. It fits right with the album.
That's a good one too, yeah.
They have some pretty cool album covers.
You know what? Not to get too far into it, but you know what my favorite W.a.s.P. record is besides the first one? I love Crimson Idol. I'm such a fan of that record.
I gotta give some of that stuff a chance. I kind of dropped off after the second
Children. Oh wow!
Last Command.
Yeah, after Last Command, I kind of lost interest in it. Once bands kind of start going through like a lot of different lineup changes and like they kind of like change a lot, but a lot of bands like Mötley Crüe did, they kind of like change their style and everything. But I think like the Crimson Idol and the Last Command, I really gotta.
And Headless Children, that's another one too. And Headless Children.
Yeah, I think I gotta give those.
Yeah, they're the main. I think they're the best ones.
Good chance. Yeah.
All right, we're gonna stick with Dame. What you got, Damo?
Yeah, this is my last pick. I have Kiss, Dress to Kill. I hate to go there, but I had to.
How many Kiss did we do on this one?
3.
Jeez. Why did we just do the best Kiss album cover?
Wait, I think we did that already.
We already did it. That's why I didn't mention it.
I know.
Yeah, when I think great album covers, this is like or my personal favorites. This is always in
it's iconic. It's great.
Yeah, it just I'm a a sucker for this like eeriness, and it just looked fucking weird. I mean, you got these guys that look like like so kind of like scary and demonic, looking, and they're wearing like suits and just hanging out on a street corner, like smiling and stuff. It's kind of like
it's iconic.
Not just
really
suits,
bizarre.
But suits are too small for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's once you zone into it, you're like, it's fucking weird,
I just always thought it was
coin.
Yeah, I just always thought it was like really cool cover. It always got my attention, and it's black and white too, which just adds to it.
Yeah. Mike D, what you got?
So I guess this is my last one too, then, since Damien's done.
Sure.
Thank you, Damien. I'm glad because I'm running out too. So he's all took my picks. But we've probably covered this one before, I think, on one of our shows. But I'm going with the OCs Smoke Reverser.
That's a good cover. The OCs. You see that
OCs
with the big demon?
Yeah, man. Probably one of my
OS,
favorite
right?
bands right now.
OCS.
It's
O-S.
OH
Ooh, yeah.
SEES. Sometimes they change their name so many times. It could be the OCs, then they just put the letters together sometimes.
The OCs, and what's the album cover?
Smoke Reverser.
Smoke Reverser.
Badass.
SMOTE.
That's badass, that album cover.
That is badass.
Yeah. It's like a big demon or something, right?
Like Cthulhu or something.
Why
The
can't I
music
find
doesn't
it?
sound like what you would think it's some like heavy metal, like a Swedish heavy metal band or something.
Yeah.
Smoke.
But
yeah.
it's
You know
more
what?
like experimental punk prog. Yeah.
I think we talked about this one at the misleading album covers.
We did.
Yeah,
Yes, we did.
This is pretty badass.
I remember you
Looks
liking it. Yeah.
looks like a Ronnie James Dio album cover.
It
I
could
wonder
be.
if it's the same. Actually, I wonder if it's the same artist. I don't know. It looks very.
I don't know. It looks Geiger-esque, but I know it's not a Geiger.
Yeah, definitely like Geiger inspired.
Yeah. It's
It
pretty
almost
good.
reminds me of what was that movie? Oh man, I can't think. It's got like 3 sequels. It was like a street or something like that.
In the Mouth of Madness.
No,
Streets of
it's
Fire?
newer. No, where the alien was attacking the town. It was like New York.
Oh, Cloverfield.
Cloverfield. That's it. Yep.
Cloverfield. Yeah.
That was a great movie.
Yeah. I like
That
the
was-
second one.
The first two are really, really
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Then it was really.
I couldn't. The third one, that was pretty.
I think
brutal.
10 minutes.
I
got
think
through
I
the
actually
third one.
turned that off.
Yeah, the third, what was it? The Cloverfield Paradox or something like that.
It was like
Yeah,
space,
where the
it
guy's
was
hand
weird.
was going through this. I'm like, nah, man. I'm like, this is just brutal. This movie.
They jumped the shark.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with Greg. Greg, if you got one or two, if you want to spit them off, because I got one or two, I'm gonna spit off two to wrap it up.
Okay, so I actually I just listed a bunch that just came to my mind, so I'm just gonna try to pick one here. Another like 3 I couldn't pick, just one. But Alice Cooper show.
Yeah.
Uh,
that's the one.
Constrictor,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
probably my favorite just because of the gatefold is from the inside.
Oh yeah, with the inside the asylum thing, dude. How awesome is that? That it opens up like that? It's so
That is
cool.
probably like the coolest gatefold. Like, because like even on the back when you like have like little doors that open up and it's just them just charging out. It's so cool.
Yeah, I like that one. I didn't notice that till I guess I picked up the vinyl at a used store like maybe like 2 years ago. I was like, wow, it's all this craziness, There's like so much little stuff in there. You got another one you want to throw out there, Greg?
Yeah, I really like some Enchanted Evening by Blue Oyster Cult. Their
What's that
live
look
album.
like?
It's like a Grim Reaper in like a desert. It's their live album from 1977. I never got too into Blue Oyster Cult. I pretty much just loved Godzilla and their 2 other hits, and that was pretty much it. Like I think most people are probably like that are casual. But my dad always had it, and I've always liked just looking at it. And that was
They did have cool album covers.
Yeah.
I just typed in the title of it, and I'm like, wait a minute, what? That's not them.
But
that's pretty cool.
What did
looking,
you
I see
think
it.
of them at M3?
It was cool. Like, I mean, it was. I think obviously, I think the highlight of the performance, other than Godzilla, which I kind of thought was a little underwhelming because you're so used to hearing it so big and didn't really have that sound when they were playing it live. But they're also like in their 70s, so I can't expect it. But like, I loved when Don't Fear the Reaper starts playing, and I just see everyone in their seats, thousands of people, just doing the cowbell.
I didn't even
Really?
notice that.
That's awesome.
I just saw thousands of people just doing this in their chairs.
It was
fucking great.
I never saw them live, and
Me neither.
you know what? And like you, I just know like a few of the songs. But dude, and I hate to say this because they're very old guys. I mean,
they are
like the 2 original guys. Without looking it up, I think I heard they're like 76 or 78.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all respect to them for
Sure.
doing it. And I feel like a dick saying this, but man, they bored the fuck out of me.
They got too
They
jammed.
really did.
Yeah.
You know, you start to fade out a little bit. Like
it was, and they got some younger guy, like the other keyboard / guitar player. He's a young guy. He's like in his 30s or 40s or something. But it was just like, God, man, it was like just like old man rock. I mean, it was just like literally like
just jamming.
Not
Yeah.
yeah, it was like that, but it was just like, God, man, like
They Kiss are in their 70s.
right.
Yeah, but they're
true.
not sounding like that.
Yeah.
No.
But
They're
they just
blowing
like bored as shit. Like they're like a bunch of guys is playing like they're like the bar down the street or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. That's a perfect way to describe it. That's why I was a little disappointed with Godzilla. When they played it.
No facial expressions or nothing. Just kind of just like
Going
Yeah,
through
they're
those-
because they're like, we're playing in front of a bunch of assholes who's playing the fucking cowbell.
right. But they sounded great.
They only know us from
They did
fucking
sound
Saturday Night
great.
Live. Bunch of fucking jerk offs.
I love that song. Oh, they're playing the tune from
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live.
We need
love
more
that song.
cowbell. How about some more cowbell?
They're playing the
Fuck
Will
you,
Ferrell
asshole.
song.
The Will Ferrell
Yeah.
song, yeah. Oh man. All right, guys. So I'm going to spit off a quick 4, and anybody who wants to jump in, because I had a list and a half here. So
Come on, let me hear the rest of these Kiss albums.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Marilyn Manson, Portrait of American Family. It's freaking
Yes.
creepy.
That is a creepy album.
The claymation, and then the irony, I guess, to throw a little, jab at, I guess, Middle America. They got the Beatles statues on the side.
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
Dude.
I wasn't a huge Manson fan either, but I never knew that.
Oh, dude.
I love Manson.
Love
Like, I love him from up to like 2003. Like,
Yeah, I'm with you.
After Golden Age of Grotesque, I don't care.
I'm with you.
about
That's it. I still got the other stuff, but the first bunch of them were unbelievable.
Yeah, I think I actually also have Marilyn Manson on Mechanical Animals.
Great album
Like,
cover.
That's a good one. Yeah.
I love his whole look was fantastic during
Yeah.
that time.
The same thing,
Was
color scheme, the silverish blue and the white.
the red hair and the
Everything
like,
popped.
it's so great.
Yep. Next one I got, which I always thought I had no idea what the hell the album cover is, but I love the color scheme. Def Leppard Hysteria. I love the color scheme. It pops. Like you
Yeah,
look
it
at it,
does.
it's futuristic kind of,
Hysteria?
It's 80s. It looks very 80s stuff.
I agree. It's I was thinking of Pyromania, but yeah, the that's a good one. I like that. one.
Adrenalize is also pretty much the same type of album
Yeah.
cover. Well,
Same type, yeah. The other one I got here is Metallica and Justice for All. The colors. The colors just are so different.
I was going to put that
Mhm.
on mine too. I like that one. Out of them, that's my favorite.
That's probably my favorite Metallica cover. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be the same here.
And albums too. It's
Yeah. It's great. So
Yeah.
good, man.
since we're speaking of, sorry to interrupt.
No.
Since we're speaking of like colors that pop and everything, I also had Rob Zombie's Hellbilly Deluxe.
Oh, it's a great album cover. Yeah.
I love that album cover. That album to me is timeless. Like I listen to that still on rotation. I think it's one of my probably top 10 favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
I love that album.
It's powerful. I mean, it's a lot of energy, and I love when you have heavy music and you got that dancey stuff mixed in. It's got something for everybody. I'm becoming a real big fan of that stuff.
Yeah, he's a master at that.
Pop metal.
It's pop
Yeah, I
metal,
guess
but,
so.
but you can dance to it. I'm not a dance guy,
Right.
as name would say, but besides
Right.
that,
You're not doing bad these days.
yeah. I'm getting
Get you a
a
choreographer.
Dave's got me
bring
going
it
to
back.
tap lessons next.
Twinkle Toe, Freddie.
Yeah, I think you're doing pretty damn good.
Get on the highway and throw in Demonoid Phenomenon. You'll be seeing your speedometer going 100 without even noticing it.
Yeah.
His stuff
Surf doesn't
just
go
gets you
past
pumped.
20.
No, I got 2 moves and my bottom don't move. And the last one I have on my list, and I'm going by the original album cover. It's simple. There's nothing to it, but man, it made me want to buy that record immediately. Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil.
You know what's interesting? My favorite was their alternative
With the 4 faces, yeah.
with the four faces, because
yeah.
that's like my favorite photo of theirs.
Yeah,
Like,
it is one of the best.
Yeah.
that's their best album in my opinion.
I like the I actually like the Dr. Feelgood cover. I like
That's a cool color. Same thing.
very-
Color scheme's great.
like the
Has
color.
yeah, that does have a good color scheme too.
Yeah. And it's a color that you don't see used that often. Too.
Yep. It's
You
like
know,
that
it's,
mixed green or something.
Yeah, it looks like pistachio ice cream.
yeah. You wanted to lick it. I got it. Come on, I lick it.
But what do you think, like when bands like have themselves on their album covers with like nothing special? And
I'm
it's just
okay
like,
with that. I'm okay.
Are you really? Because I'm like, I don't know. You really can't do nothing better than a picture.
I like
It
artwork.
has to be visual. If they're gonna do that, they have to be visual.
Yeah,
Right.
I
Like, I
think
could-
a band photo is kind of lazy.
Right, it is.
Right.
Like
Unless
you put that on the inside or the back or whatever.
I don't know.
Right.
Like Like Lick It Up from Kiss. I love that album cover, and it's nothing. It's a white background.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that
for
was
them,
perfect for the reason behind it, though.
Yeah, maybe that's
people
why.
want to buy it because it's their first without makeup. Like that alone was a sell. Like,
but if I rather buy Kiss on an album cover, looking the way they look, than the buy.
But when you put Kiss on an album, they're different because they had the makeup on. They were the visual. So it's like to me, they kind of break that norm. Marilyn Manson, he had some twisted stuff on there. Yeah. But like when you just see these guys with their made up hair and their makeup, look at me. It's like, come on, you poser. You poser. That's what we used to call them, the posers.
Yeah. I guess it depends. It depends on what the background is. And I think it depends on the whole aesthetic of it, But sometimes it's just like, sometimes I like it. It depends. It all depends. It's like the Cinderella one I love, and that's them on the cover. But there's so much cool
that's
shit
one of the
around
few
it,
that I like with the actual band, photo of the band on there. But it's the whole color scheme with it,
Right.
I'm going to throw another one out there too. Then.
Yeah.
And I forgot. And I'm not a huge fan of this band, but what about Rat Reach for the Sky?
That's cool.
That was a bizarre, very cool album cover.
Yeah.
That was very different for the style of music.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Almost like Greek mythology.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the colors, same thing. That one, the colors were different.
Yeah.
The colors were different.
It was like sky blue or gray or
a lot of white. Yeah. Like marble colored.
Yeah, that was a cool. And even like going to Rat, like and that had probably their most out of place song, which was great. Way Cool Jr. Like
that is a great song.
Yeah,
that's so out of the box. I think
I love that album. I think this is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah. I like Rat more and more that I think about it. I like them a lot more than I remember.
Yeah, they're like out of that original, the original LA scene. Like they probably are. Like I think they're best. I think they're the best of them all.
They're very
even over Motley Crue. I will say even over Motley Crue.
Yeah.
I think they have the most consistent albums out of all those bands. I mean, I'm a huge, like we said it before. I told you guys that I think I've seen them more than any band. And it's like one of those things like you don't even realize it. Like they're probably one of my favorite bands. Like because every friggin' album is so good top to bottom. I like Dance, like that album is just like some real.
I like that album cover, and that's just the faces.
Simple,
but
I liked it. For me, it was like Detonator. Yeah. That was like their heavy.
Detonator was cool,
fantastic.
That was that was
criminally underrated,
almost like pop metal. But I love that record too. I mean, top to bottom, I think
great album cover too.
There might be one or two filler songs per album, but that's pretty damn good when you look at Motley Crue, where like honestly, like 60-70% is filler.
Yeah. You realize sometimes you don't like them as much as you thought you did when you were that age.
But with them, that the 30% that's not filler or like amazing
heavy hitters. Yeah,
like they really make it up. Like you might have 3 great songs or 2 great songs or whatever, and the rest of the album's shit.
Yeah,
or okay. Yeah, I mean it's just.
A lot of that glam stuff was like that, though. I mean,
I think everything gets like that. Everything gets
in general.
Once it gets cookie cut it, and everybody's following the same thing. It all gets like that. No matter what kind of music, it could be boy band, same thing. It all gets.
Oh, absolutely.
It all gets.
There's going to be a bunch like them.
You're trying to pump out a lot of music within a certain period of time. There's pressure and stuff like that.
And absolutely. And every A&R guy at the time, or whatever, is like, you got to do this, and by the time you do this, it's out. So it's kind of like you're better off doing your own. That's why guys like, the band like Tesla, plain Jane as could be, but they're a great band. They had a hit years after they were kind of big. They still had a hit, and it wasn't like a blow up. It wasn't like the biggest.
It wasn't their song, and it was a live song too.
No, not that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the one they did after, way after.
But what you got? What you give? You mean?
Yeah. That was pretty big. It was like, wow, like where'd that come from, kind of deal. But sometimes you're under the radar, then all of a sudden you pop out again. But sometimes when you're too big and you get way too big, you fall totally flat because everybody's expectations is so high. You know what I mean?
Guns N' Roses.
Absolutely.
They only have one album, pretty much. Like, I mean, like they only have like one album. Even Axl Rose complained about it. He was like, I'm tired of everyone talking about Appetite. Like,
I do. I still like Use Your Illusion 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
And Eyes are still cool. Okay. Chinese Democracy.
Here we
I
go.
think I tell my disgust on that one every week on the
I
show.
love that record.
You know what? I like speaking of album covers, I really like the Lies album cover. I thought
It's pretty cool.
Was pretty, yeah, it was pretty funny.
Like the newspaper tabloid type of thing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I thought that was a pretty cool album cover.
That's definitely a pretty cool album cover. Before we wrap up, I finally picked up the Skid Row vinyl box set. So I did get that and listened through the records. I got so far.
Slave to the Grind, great album cover.
Oh my God, great album cover.
Oh yeah,
dude. If you haven't heard, besides hearing the songs on the radio, if you haven't heard Slave to the Grind in a while from top to bottom, you got to listen to it again.
It's a masterpiece.
Actually, what was the one after that? Because I never heard that one.
Human Race was great too. I love that.
That was really good.
That's my favorite album. That's my favorite.
Fantastic. Mine will always be the first. The first one will always be my favorite.
They're all good.
They're all three of them. The first three albums are just fantastic. Just like dude, top to bottom.
You don't realize how fucking great Sebastian Bach was. Oh my God,
they were great in concert.
Ridiculous.
I think they should have been where Guns N' Roses is. I really think they should have been. Like they had the same type of attitude and aesthetic, and to me,
there was a difference though, because Axl fired the band. The band pretty much got rid of Sebastian on
reverse, right?
And then tanked after that. But this new guy though is the closest we'll ever get to.
Yes, he's pretty damn good. Did you see him that night at M3?
Unfortunately I had to leave. The night I had to leave the night before. There was a family emergency that happened. I didn't even get to see Tom Keeper. It was like the end. It was Saturday night. It was at the end of Blue Oyster Cult's set, and person I was with got a phone call, and I was their ride, so we pretty much had to dart home.
When did I see you? It was Saturday with Dan. It was Saturday with Dan, right? Yeah. In the afternoon, dude, it was fucking raining.
That was brutal.
Yeah, because I asked him if he's seen you, and he's like, "I want to meet up with Greg probably at one point." I'm like, "Oh, cool." Because he told me you were going to be down there. But I think I'm going next year. These guys are having way too much.
It's always a good time. Like even with the bad weather, you make the best of it. It was fun.
Like you said, you see a lot of friends down there. You want to hang out with your friends. You know what I mean? And making some new ones. So man. So Greg, thank you for coming on once again. We'll have you on soon, I hope.
Thank you.
Any gigs coming up, Greg, or anything like that coming up?
Yeah, this Saturday, Bark at the Moon. Actually, Friday and Saturday, we're going to be up in New York, in Walton, New York on Friday. We are playing in a castle. Wow. Like it's called Castle in the Delaware. This place, I never heard of it, and we got the gig there.
Where at? In Long Island,
Walton, New York.
Oh, okay.
And then we are going to Addison, New York, at Motown concert venue with our friends Head Motor.
Nice. Motorhead tribute, right? Probably Motorhead tribute.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. What are the dates on it? You know the dates offhand? You know the dates offhand?
Well, it's this Friday and Saturday.
Okay, so we'll probably be we're going to be late. This will be airing Monday, so Greg will already played the show.
Oh, okay.
Shit.
We're booked throughout the whole year. Like we're playing. I think the two big ones that come to mind are we have our own tribute fest. We have our own Ozfest.
Oh wow!
That's happening in Mechanicsburg.
The Gore Fest.
What's that?
There you go.
Gore Fest.
Yeah.
But it's a recreation of Ozfest. We got Pantera. We have a Limp Bizkit tribute.
That's pretty clever.
Tribute, Typo tribute.
That's
like a tribute Ozfest. Yeah.
Where's that going to be?
Yeah. Where's that's going to be at Love Drafts Brewery in Mechanicsburg, PA.
I don't even know what's that. Is that far?
It's around Harrisburg area.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And that is on July 9th. And on August 27th, we are also playing a tribute festival with Head Motor, Motorhead tribute, Shout the Devil, Motley Crue tribute, us, Bark at the Moon, and closing night will be Cold Gin.
Nice. You really the Cold Gin from back in the day without Tommy Thayer kind of deal, or
that was the West Coast Cold Gin.
Oh, there was two different ones.
There's two.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they both toured. Like they were both big in their respective times. So
that's crazy. Wow. All right, Greg, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Not counting yourself, of course. Who is your favorite tribute to see? My
favorite tribute to see? I I'm probably just biased just because, you know, I play with them so often, but they are really good at what they're doing. Obviously Cold Gin, I'm biased. I love Kiss. But I have to say Shout the Devil, Motley Crue tribute, and Head Motor. The guy, you know, his name's Sean. He looks and sounds just like Lemmy Kilmister.
I gotta look it up. Wow,
he's fucking awesome. Like, and whenever we play together pretty often. And whenever we do, we always do an encore of we have our own duet version of Hellraiser.
Oh, sweet.
Oh yeah,
That's cool.
Mm-hmm,
now,
yeah.
are you playing with them at this castle place?
No, we're playing at in Addison, New York on Saturday.
Okay, try and get some video with that, dude. Try and get some video.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I think there's a video of us playing it the first time. There's some video of it. I have to find it and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'll put it up. I'll put it up on this episode. Also, if you could try and get a video or some pictures from the castle thing, that should be neat. That would be pretty
absolutely.
Wild.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna.
You should dress up as like the werewolf from Bark at the Moon.
Yeah, because it's taking 20 hours to do.
You should recreate the video.
Yeah,
the shadows fall in.
That would be wild, man. That would be wild.
I'll show with like a Philly shirt and shit. like Dr. Jekyll.
Fucking awesome. All right, guys. Thank you, Greg Gorey from Bark at the Moon.
Thanks again for coming, Greg.
All right, Greg.
Yeah.
Thanks
Always
for
good to have
Stealing
you,
all my
brother.
picks, Greg.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
That's cool, man.
Oh,
Great minds think alike.
well, dude,
Yes.
hopefully, eventually, I'll catch you. I haven't caught you live yet. I will.
Yeah, I
catch
gotta go. Maybe we'll
go together. Because every time you play, it's either we're playing or something's going on, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you're playing
Most of
3
the
miles,
beats that
3 hours away.
Yeah, that's the other thing, you know, like we're always all over the place. So
Yeah,
you know, it's nice. It's a good problem to have. But
yeah, it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Greg, hopefully we'll see you soon, and definitely talk to you soon. And mixtapes and tasty cakes with Greg Gorey. We'll see you guys next time.
see ya.
See you, man.